Most people think buying or selling a home in Ontario is a straight line from A to B. But the truth is, it's full of potholes that can make you feel like your world is coming apart. If you're currently in the middle of a move and you're starting to feel like everything is going sideways, I have a secret for you. The chaos isn't a sign that things are failing. It's actually a sign that you're right on track. Today, I'm going to show you why this bumpy road is the only road to a successful closing and how to stop the stress from costing you money. If you're currently buying or selling a home and you feel like you're constantly saying, "I'm sorry," for all the back and forth, you need to hear this. Right now, you might be sitting at your kitchen table in Waterdown or Ancaster and staring at a contract and feeling like your chest is starting to get tight. Maybe the buyer just asked for a huge repair credit, or the house you love just had a surprise in the basement during the walkthrough. You feel like your deal is slipping through your fingers. This is usually when my clients pick up the phone and call me and they say, "I have another question. And oh yeah, by the way, I'm so sorry for all the back and forth." So you need to stop right there. You have absolutely nothing to apologize for. The perfect, easy deal is one of the biggest myths that I see in real estate, and it could be stealing your peace of mind. In the real world, in the world that we live in Ontario, the road to a successful closing, it's supposed to be bumpy. If it feels hard from time to time, it's most likely because the stakes are really high. And when you're moving $800,000 or $1 million across the table, things are going to get complicated. So let's talk about why this happens and why you are not alone in this. Every single real estate project follows a very specific emotional and logical pattern. I call it the real estate roller coaster. It starts with the honeymoon phase, which we're all familiar with. This is when we first sit down to talk about your home in Burlington, or we start touring beautiful detached homes in Mount Hope or Caledonia. Everything's exciting. You're looking at floor plans. We're talking about professional staging, and you're imagining your new life in a bigger backyard or a quieter street. On paper, this looks like a straight line. In your mind, it looks like it should feel like a straight line. You just think, we'll list it, we'll sell it, and we're done. But I'm here to tell you that the perfect deal is kind of a fairy tale. Real estate is built on friction, compromise, and middle of the night emails. Think of it like a flight. You want to take off in Hamilton and land in your new home in Caledonia. You look at the map and you see a straight line across the escarpment. But once the plane's in the air, what happens? You hit pockets of wind. The plane has to change altitude. Sometimes you have to circle the airport because you can't land right away. That turbulence doesn't mean the plane is crashing. It just means you're flying in the real world. Real estate is a lot like that. I have clients come to me all the time feeling exhausted. They feel bad that they're asking more questions, or that they're second guessing a price, or maybe they need to talk through a financial hiccup for the third time that day. They think they're being difficult, or maybe their deal is just jinxed from the start. But here's the thing. The back and forth isn't a distraction from the work. The back and forth is the work. Let's look at the negotiation bump. This is where most people start to feel the stress. In our local market, especially with detached homes over $750,000, buyers are being very careful right now. They aren't just throwing money at houses like they did a few years ago. They are looking at every single detail. When a buyer asks for an inspection or a price reduction because of an old roof or a dated electrical panel, it may feel like an attack on your home. It may feel like the deal is falling apart. You think to yourself, why can't this just be simple? But it's not difficult. It's just a project. When you hear no in a negotiation, it doesn't mean the deal is dead. It just means we found a bump in the road that we need to smooth out. Most people miss this part. These dips and valleys are where the real profit is protected in a deal. If I just told you what you wanted to hear and I ignored the bumps, I wouldn't be doing my job as your realtor and your strategist. My job is to see the pothole coming and steer around it without damaging the car. Now, let's talk about the waiting bump. This is the weird, quiet period between an accepted offer and the day the conditions are cleared, also known as the conditional period. This is often the most stressful part because it feels like you've lost control. This is when the what ifs start to creep in. What if the bank appraisal comes in low and the buyer can't cover the difference? What if the buyer's own house in Oakville doesn't sell? And also very common, what if the home inspector finds something I didn't even know was there? The time between an offer and the end of the conditional period when the deal is firm, That's usually when most of these what if scenarios kind of are born. But the truth is 90% of them never happen. This is usually where I get the phone calls where they start with, "I'm so sorry to ask you again," or "I'm sorry to bother you. You feel like you're bothering me because you're worried about something that might happen 2 weeks from now." But here's why you should never feel the need to apologize. This is probably the biggest financial project of your life. If you weren't concerned about the details, I would be worried. You're dealing with your equity, your debt, and your future. I've seen deals in Burlington that looked like they were going to collapse on a Friday night because of a tiny paperwork error at the bank, only to be fine by Monday morning. But the bumpy road definitely feels scary because we don't like uncertainty. We want to know what's happening at every second. Real estate involves humans, and humans are unpredictable. You have sellers who are emotionally attached to their family home in Ancaster. You have buyers who are nervous about what the Bank of Canada might do next month to the interest rates. You have lawyers, inspectors, appraisers, and they all have their own schedules and their own opinions. When all those people come together, there's going to be friction. If there was no friction, everybody would be a real estate agent. If you're a buyer right now, the bump in the road might be that houses are sitting a bit longer, so you're overthinking every decision. You're wondering, if nobody bought this house yet, what do they know that I don't? You start looking for problems that aren't there. If you're a seller, the bump in the road might be that the first 5 showings didn't result in an offer, and now you're worried your price is too high or your kitchen is too old. These aren't signs of failure. This is just normal market conditions. Prices go up, buyers hold back, sellers aim high. This is the natural rhythm of real estate in Ontario. Think about the "I'm sorry" mindset for a second. When you feel like you're being a bother, you start to rush. You might be tempted to say yes to a bad condition or accept a lower price maybe than you should, just to make the stress go away. Don't do that. That's how you lose tens of thousands of dollars. This is a business transaction. It has a start, a middle, and an end. It has milestones and it has setbacks. My job isn't to give you a road with no bumps because that road doesn't exist in Ontario. Really, my job is to act more like the high-performance suspension for your move. I'm here to take the hit so you don't feel it as much. I'm here to tell you, yes, this is a bump, but here's exactly how we're going to drive over it without popping a tire. So if you're feeling the weight of the bumpy road right now, it's okay just to take a breath. The back and forth, normal. The second guessing, also normal. The feeling that everything is moving too fast and too slow at the same time, completely normal. You aren't being difficult. You're being a homeowner that cares about their future. You're a project manager for your own life, and projects are messy. The next time you feel like the deal is getting complicated, don't feel the need to apologize. Just realize now we're in the thick of it. We're doing the hard work that leads to the keys being handed over. If you enjoyed this video, please remember to smash that like button and subscribe. Thanks again for watching, and we'll see you next time.